Very few Americans are actually aware of the fact that General Motors makes a $12,000 electric convertible, which is actually good. I kid you not. This story is so crazy, it's hard to believe it's actually true. Technically, General Motors sell an electric vehicle, in fact, an electric convertible that costs only $14,000 US. For the premium version, you can get the cheap version for $12,000 US. The premium version also comes with 280 kilometers of range, and the body is made from 80% high-strength steel. It's so incredibly popular, this car, you have to actually enter a lottery to buy one. Incredibly, there's been more than 20,000 pre-orders placed within a matter of only weeks. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. My name is Sam Evans, and I love to report this stuff because, honestly, no one seems to know about it. And General Motors are saying they've electrified the world. Is it even true? Not really. Technically, this video is kind of clickbait. Well, it is and it isn't. General Motors, they own 33% of this company, of this tri-venture. It's a venture between SAIC, Wuling, and General Motors. So technically, it is true that it is a GM vehicle, but it's also an SAIC vehicle, and it's also a Wuling vehicle. Now, who gets the sale on this? Well, for some strange reason, SAIC do. Now, so when you see the numbers of electric vehicle sales, you're often seeing SAIC. Right now, they are technically the third largest vehicle producer in the world of EVs, because this vehicle is being counted for them and not for General Motors and not for Wuling. Don't know why that is, but that's just how it is for some bizarre reason. So how good is this vehicle? Actually, it's way better than you realize. It's much more technologically advanced than people in the West realize. And in fact, this is a car that I think personally should be sold not just in China. And the truth is, it will be. It'll be sold in many other Southeast Asian countries within the next few years, as it should. But the reality is now, for the next few years, there is way too many people in China that want this thing, so there's just not enough of them being made to come close to satisfying demand. Here's the thing, right? The lottery. Now, Wuling actually have, or General Motors actually have, 150,000 pre-orders for this vehicle. This is going to be by far the highest selling convertible, electric convertible in history. I don't know how any company will ever catch up with these kind of numbers. These are crazy. 150,000 pre-orders. Those people have all gone into the lottery. They're very well aware of that fact. And the key reason why this car is selling so well is because people are very well aware of the reality. The reality is this. The hardtop version of this car was the best-selling electric car in China last year. In fact, 426,000 were delivered last year in China alone. And there's a big reason for this. Now, there's a lot of competitors to this car. There is heaps of different models. But this vehicle has a very good reputation for quality and for simply doing the job, doing what it was made for. Now, the reality is it's actually very expensive. If you think about it, in comparison to the hardtop version. The hardtop version you can get for about $5,000 US. The cheapest convertible version, which is basically the same car, but just without a roof, costs $12,000 US. One of the key reasons for this, though, is the massive amount of high-strength steel being used in this vehicle to give it more structural rigidity. In fact, there's more high-strength steel used in this vehicle than about 90% of the cars manufactured in the United States today. Also, this vehicle uses a 26.5 kilowatt-hour lithium iron phosphate battery. It's a very, very safe battery, extremely unlikely to catch fire, and it'll give the car at least 260 kilometers of range. If you think about the weight of the car, it's very, very light. It could even give you more range than that, especially if you do a Nikola and you roll it down a hill. GM, Wuling, and SAIC actually claim this will do 280 kilometers of range, which is 174 miles on China's CLTC test cycle. If you want to know about the performance, well, it's not exactly fast. It'll do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in, well, no one knows, because we only know the speed it'll do 0 to 50, which is 0 to 31, and that is 8 seconds. And it gets there with a single electric motor on the rear of the car. So it's a rear-wheel drive car. That motor has 30 kilowatt or 41 horsepower and 110 newton meters of torque. It actually has a large amount of torque for the size of vehicle. What is the size then? Well, it's just over 3 meters long. It's 3,059 millimeters, 1,521 millimeters tall, and 1,614 millimeters wide. Wheelbase is over 2 meters, 2,010 millimeters. So in inches, it's 120.4 inches long, 59.9 inches wide, and 63.5 inches tall. And that wheelbase, it's 79 inches. First customer deliveries of this new convertible actually went out to buyers back in October. So that 150,000 pre-orders, it could have actually increased by now. And when you think about it, right, even though we joke about General Motors and Mary Barra and her comments about GM electrifying the world, which clearly isn't true, the truth is, GM have certainly electrified the convertible world, just not in the West or the US or Europe or Australia or Canada or anywhere else, but in China, where the world's largest car market is currently based. And more people are buying electric cars there than the rest of the world combined. So maybe General Motors was smart after all to make this EV in China. Frankly, I've got to say, I love it. It's wacky, it's kind of cute, and it's very, very different. Now you might be thinking this looks very unsafe. And well, yeah, I'm sure you could drive over this thing in a Hummer if you wanted to, but considering it has 75% high strength steel, 2 airbags, automatic brakes, anti-lock braking, ABS, and electronic brake force distribution using EBD, plus the lithium iron phosphate battery, it's probably much safer than a lot of gasoline-powered cars driving around right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.